make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses.
So what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. So I saw this clip online of this guy, and he said, "You raise your kids. If you raise your kids, you can spoil your grandkids. But if you spoil your kids, you're going to raise your grandkids." And when it comes to thinking about, the generation of parents, us Gen Xers and millennials, who are some young parents, some of them are young parents, or older parents, whatever. For both of us, this is an issue. I'm gonna tell you why. A lot of Gen Xers spoiled our kids. We're gonna say these kids, they didn't have it as hard as we did. We wasn't trying to live in the hard environments that a lot of us grew up in, but we spoiled our kids. You see the situation with Master P and Romeo, 50 Cent and his son Marquise, Brian McKnight and his children. And what you see is a bunch of children who are parents who still in some ways act like they want their parents, some of them are parents rather, that they want their parents to take care of them for life and then hopefully take care, if they have kids or if they do have kids, their kids for life. And, it becomes an issue because how selfish can people be? Now, some of us raised our kids and spoiled them because we were trying to give them a life that we didn't have per se. And we gave them a life that we never had, but we gave them a life that they didn't work for. So they just thought it was going to come easy. So in essence, we spoiled them. It's weird when you see grown men with their grandparents shopping and their grandparents are buying them clothes. Now, I'm not saying, family does stuff out of love, but when it comes off as a sense of this person's not really taking care of themselves, and it becomes an issue, and those people become parents, and we had a problem. Me and my lady was talking, and she asked me a question about, well, what do you think is the big difference from when we were kids and now with our kids or the other kids nowadays? And my answer was social media. My answer was social media because, in my opinion, I think that we learn trial and error in life from going out and doing things. And it seems like now the youth are accustomed to the internet because that's what they were raised on. We were TV, they were internet. But it looks like they're so concerned with social media, they don't actually live through trial and error. They actually don't do anything and succeed or fail at it or learn from a failure to get better. So it's like everything is online. And, we had bullies for real. They got bullies online. It's like, well, cut off the phone. Problem solved. Our bullies will come see you. Your bullies will hit send. It's different. But what does that teach the generation coming up after that? That it's okay to be soft. Like, some of these things, I can be an old fogey when I say some of this stuff because it's just how how I grew up. We didn't believe in anxiety. Like, I got anxiety. Because everybody had anxiety. It was a sink or swim situation. You either gonna sink or swim. It wasn't I'm so scared that I'll never do anything type of thing. Or I get so nervous that I I lose it. I just lose it and I can't move forward in life. That's an issue for us. Some people go, I'm going through it, and it's like, what exactly are you going through? Because it seems like you didn't go anywhere yet. So it feels different. It comes off different. And sometimes for some of us it's a good thing, for some of us it's a bad thing, but ultimately it's a problem nonetheless because It's like, who raised you? And then some of us got to say, I raised you. You know, you got messed up, and you wind up having to raise your grandkids the opposite of you raise your kids, because if you spoil your kids and you wind up raising your grandkids, you realize that you were the one that got in the way of giving them the lessons in life that will make them a functional adult. So now you stuck with with holding the bag, because you wouldn't trust them to raise the kids, because you raised them to be hedonistic or narcissistic or impulsive, and that's who they are. And now there ain't no going back. The quote unquote damage is already done. So interestingly enough, you wind up in a situation where, how can I say this? Now we're looking at each generation like softer than the next and softer than the next. And a problem comes where if these subsequent generations keep getting softer and softer, no, the society is going to crumble just because it doesn't have people strong enough to maintain it. Everybody's just going to walk on the phone, taking selfies and using filters, and the building of America, or rebuilding, is going to be left to less and less people, to the point that it might not be nobody else. And people are going to blame it on the parenting. So was it the Gen Xers or was it the millennials? It's like, depending on the age group, you can say a bit of both. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.